Hello and welcome to the virtual viewing of the I Want You to See Me project, a short film that amplifies the voices of lived marginalized experiences. We are so excited to be sharing our fourth installment of this project and film with you today. Additionally, we are so grateful to have partnered with the Thomas M. Wernert Center, which is a community mental health organization that offers a safe and welcoming environment for individuals living with mental illness. They do this through the power of peer support and peer leadership, where they also offer community events, art classes, access to resources, and more. If you would like to learn more about the Thomas M. Wernert Center, please visit their website at wernertcenter.org. As a reminder, due to the nature of this project and the authenticity of the storytellers, this film is intended for mature viewers only. We have built in some time in between each story segment for you to debrief, reflect, and take some time to care for yourself. We ask that you use that time accordingly. Lastly, to respect the hard work and dignity of our storytellers, we ask that you refrain from any photos, videos, or audio recordings of this show. And we hope you enjoy the show.
Okay. In 2019, I just started a new job at Zeph. I was switchboard operator. I love call center work. I was doing that, and I started at Owens in social work because that's what I've always wanted to be, a social worker. I started, but I guess it was too much good stress, and I had the stroke August 12th, 2019. I got up, it was about 4:20 a.m., got up to go to the bathroom. And I don't remember anything but opening my eyes, I was on the floor. My daughter, who's very, I call her discerning, she felt like something was wrong with me, so she didn't happen to be there that night. She did intentionally was there with me that night, just spending the night to make sure I was okay. She heard me fall. I don't even remember falling, but I fell and I hit my head. I couldn't walk or anything. I had no left side at all. So I've been recovering since then because I keep trying to do different things that'll help. What they call it, cell memory, muscle memory. So now I'm beginning to physically write again. I can sign my name. I couldn't button my clothes. I still have a challenge with it, but I can zip up now. Still have tremor in my left hand, but it's not as bad. Like when I first had it, it was like my hand would do this, and that like really freaked me out because I was like, this feels horrible. It was like somebody just patting all over you for no reason. It's just been a challenge. I was taken from my mother at birth. I don't know what the circumstances are. She says she doesn't remember having me or being pregnant. When they took me from my mother in 1966, they put me in the foster care, and I've been in the system ever since. I married young. He had a daughter, and then he and I had a daughter together. He abused us. He abused me. He abused the children. I was abusive at one point to the girls. And then I got enough courage to leave because he told me I was going to always be alone for the rest of my life. Nobody was going to ever love me because I was horrible. So it was a lot of negative feedback I got through the years. There were negative behaviors and language and thinking that I had, or as they say, stinking thinking that I had, that it was not beneficial to me nor those around me. So now my thinking is changing and it's becoming fragrant thinking. It's smelling better. It gives me a better perspective, a better outlook on things that are happening, things that happened. It's all good. I'm still here. I'm alive. The Wernert Center, my time here has been awesome because Lindsay has training to deal with physical fitness for stroke survivors. Being here has helped me to understand it's beyond just an idea that somebody thought of and just said, well, we'll call that mental health. No, that there's actually trauma that happens to the brain as a result of abuse sometimes, and then as a result of drugs or whatever medium it comes through, and it actually affects your body in a way that it's an illness. I'm allowing myself compassion for myself that, okay, you're not going to be perfect. I want to be the perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You can't be the perfect client. You can't be the perfect patient. You can't be the perfect daughter. You can't be the perfect friend. So be yourself. It's okay to be you. I've come a long way, baby.
Not the oldest or the youngest, but expected to be the wisest, the calmest, the easiest, the quietest. I should have been a child in their eyes, but I was the Switzerland between sides when the tides got high and the bickering turned to screams and cries. The first confidant they'd call, the vault that holds all. Everything to everyone else and nothing to myself. That's who I was when I was stuck in the middle. I was used to being their remedy, and I was told that was my best quality. Because when the tension was choking, I turned to joking as a way for us to find coping, thinking if I could get them to just take a breath, maybe I wouldn't fear what might come next. That's what I'd do when I was stuck in the middle. My feet were calloused from the eggshells I'd walk on, and my calves strong as steel from tiptoeing around any word, thought, or sound that could cause the dominoes to come crashing down. Acutely aware that the moments of peace could change in a second, when the one with the temper came around. That's what I learned when I was stuck in the middle. Through all of it, I was praised for being the rock, a place of solace for handling things with grace. But all that taught me was how to save face, to de-escalate, not embrace, in order to keep my place, to uphold my role and ignore the mental and emotional toll. Because when you are the one to whom they all turn, your own needs and emotions aren't met with concern. Tell me, how could their arms feel welcoming when my emotions were always met with belittling? At least, that's how it felt when I was stuck in the middle. But over time, I got tired of the crisis and chaos, and yet still, I grieved the potential I lost, just so I could protect my peace at all costs. You've changed, they say now as I pull away. It's true. I have. I cannot give what I once gave. But now I wonder, how can I know what my identity is, without them as the reference points of how to live.
Eight poems I'll never read to 8 different people. 1. I'm going to make you business cards. The front will read, Professional Homewrecker, though she is the one who did it. Though she was the one lying, though she came up with the ideas and the schemes, but it hurts to know that you continued despite what you knew you were doing. Below your title, Professional Homewrecker. In a font you'll need a microscope to read, I think you may have saved me. 2. Sometimes arms feel more like a prison than a home. Sometimes they are more straitjacket than winter coat. I don't know how to tell you that I love you, but I've lost control again. And I want to come home to your arms, and I'm afraid I might not make it in time. 3. Fruit flies can survive decapitation because they house a spare brain in their chests. I don't know if this is true, but I do know that you and I lost our minds decades ago. The only way we've survived the soft, beating muscle in our chests. We could have grown stone from this. We could have ripped out our heartstrings when they stole our livelihood, but we didn't, and they couldn't. Our loving kindness is still here, and so are we. 4. I've waited 100 years to write this poem because I don't even know where to begin. I know the first disappointment came when my actual genitals didn't match what you expected. I'm sorry I was born in all pink with roses in my hair instead of drenched in blue with a tool belt. I'm sorry it didn't stop there. I'm sorry I was sick. I'm sorry I got lost. I'm sorry I cried too loudly and needed too fiercely and human so dramatically that you did not know how to handle me. I'm sorry that you always feel like I'm keeping secrets from you. I am. You're just not ready yet. When you're older, you will understand. 5. I didn't name you for years. I don't think I was ready to. I don't think I could have handled it. Which is not to say I can handle it now. I still haven't named you. I don't know if I ever will. 6. I haven't had a solid sense of home since 2005. I don't even know how to describe what that word means, but I do know how it probably feels. And it feels like safety, and like moss, and sunshine, and running water, and blankets. If I had to describe it, I might say this. Home is the first place you travel when you need to believe in yourself. Last week, I used an art intervention with a client where we each picked an affirmation and drew what it meant to us. I'm a good person, I said quietly as I drew a blue chair. I'm a good person, I said as I drew a round table and a brown couch. I'm a good person, I said as I drew a golden dog next to a rug I can only describe as a rainbow on acid in the best way possible. I'm a good person, I whisper as I sit back and realize where I have gone. I'm a good person. I am a good person. 7. You know, if I could take it all from you, I would. We are more alike than we are different, and I think sometimes that keeps us from connecting. We both dove in head first, bonded by trauma on the very first friend date. Probably not the best way to build a friendship, but it did make things less lonely. Sometimes I feel like we're losing touch, and the heaviness sets its hand on my shoulders to prepare me to pull back out all of my secrets. I trust you, but I'm scared too. 8. I've written this poem countless times before. We are not all the things they said we were. You are not what they did to you. You are not trapped in this place forever. Though growth is scary and painful, so is staying where you are. But it's a familiar pain and fear who hiss through their teeth, nothing will be the same. And nothing will be the same. I promise you, nothing will be the same.
I don't have a car right now, so I spend a lot of time sitting home bored, and I don't like that. I had a Chevy Beretta. I used to have a 1972 Pontiac Grand Prix. I rebuilt the engine in it. It was really fast. When I bought the car, the guy told me it had a 400 engine in it, so I was putting all these 400 parts on it, and then it turned out that it was a 307 with all these 400 parts on it, so it was really fast. Well, I never got any tickets in it, but it was fast enough that I could have. I don't have a particular favorite place, but I like to go to any place where I can have fire, yeah. We used to go to Maumee Bay State Park with my dad on the family reunions. But I'm trying to get a car, but my credit's holding me back. My credit's getting worse because of the medical bills. I have cancer. They told me I had it 3 years, but I only found out about it about 3 or 4 months ago. It's around the exhavio food tube, and they told me it's spread into my lungs, so we're starting some new treatment on it. I just found out that a couple of days ago. I feel pretty good. I just don't know how long I got, They're supposed to remove it from the feeding tube, but they haven't done it yet. I've been coming into the art room, and Neil's been keeping me pretty busy. I took time off because I was in a nursing home, but I've been coming few years now. Try to come every day. I take time off for doctor's appointments and stuff. It took me some time to build up. It was smaller then. Since they added on, I'm getting bored as easy. Usually I come into the art room. I got quite a few things at home. I got a few things here. I made it in the Native American style. I got Native American back in my ancestry. I don't know a lot about it, so I'm trying to learn more about it. My dad's family tell me they traced him back to Sitting Bull himself. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what they tell me. I seen that on TV, and the Indian had his handprint with war paint on his mouth, so I was just copying that. When I was a kid, I was picked on a lot because of my hair lip public. Like, if I wanted any shit from you, I'd strip it off my lip because they said I got my lip script stuck in their zipper, stuff like that. And it affected me pretty badly. I got in trouble because everybody picking on me. It kept me back, And I got sent to Jefferson Center, and they don't give points there, so I was stuck with sophomore for 3 years. But I survived. I pulled through. Trying to check into what they call a adjusted GED class. I want to ask my new case manager about it to see if she can set it up. I don't read very good, so I haven't been able to do a GED yet. I didn't graduate, but they didn't win either.
Sometimes I feel like I would really like somebody to get me or to understand me. In 5th grade, we had an assignment and the teacher told us to paint 3 different colors on a piece of paper. The person next to me, he could draw really well. So first of all, we had to put these 3 colors on the page. Then she told us to make a picture out of those 3 colors. He had chosen red, white, and blue on his paper. And I had chosen, I don't remember exactly, but they were colors that I really loved, like maybe olive green and maybe crimson and maybe cobalt blue or something. So when I look over, he had made this like fence. The red part was a fence and the white part was in between, you know, where he was starting to draw a barn and trees or something. And the blue was, of course, the sky. I thought, oh my God, why didn't I choose that? Those are the colors I should have chosen. And so I knew I had chosen the wrong colors. I tried to make my picture look like his. Like, maybe I can do this over, I can cover it. And it was a mess. It just didn't work at all. And so then I asked my teacher for another piece of paper. She was like, you know, just kind of disgusted. And she said, I mean, normally she was a good teacher. In fact, she was one of my favorites. And she just said, all right, but like get it right this time, kind of something on that order, she said to me. And so then I took the paper to my seat. I'm looking over. I thought, okay, I can't do what he does. I can't draw like that right now. I wish I could, but, you know, and I thought, I'm going to stop trying to make mine look like his. I'm just going to do something that's fun. Just something that's fun. And you know, I thought, oh, trees. I love to draw trees. And I can draw trees, okay? You know, I can do that. And the colors, and I'm going to make my trees all kinds of colors. And just, oh. So I couldn't draw straight lines very well. I still can't. I still can't. So my trees were really kind of crooked and my colors ran a little bit more than I wanted them to, but it was still pretty fun to do it. Well, my teacher just kind of rolled her eyes when I turned my paper in. And then she told the class that she was putting it on the bulletin board as a joke, as an example of what not to do. Yeah, I'm putting this one up. And I don't know, it was disappointing. It was a little disappointing, you know, but then I thought, oh well, you know, I did my best. So then, a few weeks later, we had an art supervisor in the school system at that time. She would come to the school every now and then to see what was being done. And so she came to our school, and she came to my classroom, and so she looked at the pictures that were displayed on the bulletin board, you know. And so she would comment on each one and say, oh, look at this one, what a nice sense of line they have, or what. Then she got to mine, and the class kind of started to snicker. They knew that this was, you know, the joke painting that was up there. She said, it's a little messy, but oh, the color. And that was so affirming. Now, my teacher, you know, she looked like she wanted to go through the floor, kind of. She was very embarrassed. And then, of course, the class was a bit embarrassed, too, because, you know, they had all been taught to dislike this and laugh at it or whatever. And here was somebody really liking it and appreciating it. I kind of looked at the situation, and I thought, oh, I could really gloat about this and say, ha, 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 you guys see how dumb you were, and then I thought, no, I don't really want to do that. Actually, what I want to do is just take this all in, because this was somebody who really got me. I mean, she really understood that the joy for me in doing that was color. That was, you know, and appreciated it. Thought it was pretty neat, you know. And it's like, that's what I'm going to bask in. I'm just going to take that in.
So I was in a stigma bubble. I had that very heavy stigma that I didn't want to be judged. I was embarrassed. I didn't want nobody to know I had mental health, so I kept it all inside. And I signed up for the Wernert Center. It was a few years before COVID hit, but I didn't come. And when COVID hit, I got involved in the calls that they had with different groups. So with them, the year or so that we did the calls, it broke down that stigma. And it made me feel better about my mental health. It's like, hey, I can embrace myself. I can, I'm just like everybody else. It's like, I'm a normal person too. And it's just I have mental health. I didn't want to feel worse than I already did. Because of the mental health, you do feel bad. I have depression, anxiety, PTSD, and OCD. I have spondylolisthesis, spinal stenosis, degenerative disc disease, sciatica, to where I have permanent nerve damage in my right leg. So I've got loss of sensation. So it constantly feels like it's on fire, especially when it gets cold. So that's what led to being depressed, because I couldn't work anymore. And this was all before I was 50. I mean, one time the pain was just so unbearable that I thought about suicide. And right away I called my therapist and talked with him about it. And, are you sure you don't want? No, I'm just thinking, my kids brought me back to reality. They're the first ones I thought about. Because if I committed suicide, then I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to finish watching them grow up, start their new families. So I didn't want to feel worse than I already did. So that's why I put myself in a stigma bubble. The Wernert Center is awesome because you get the peer support, you interact with the members, with the staff, and you don't feel like an outsider. You feel welcomed. You feel good. When I'm here, I'm relaxed. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. Since I've been coming here on a regular, I don't feel that stigma anymore. There's so many people like me with mental health, and I don't have to feel bottled up. I don't have to feel ashamed, embarrassed. It's because they all welcome you with open arms, because you do feel alone when you get your diagnosis. You do feel alone, and when you see or hear other people that, I'm just like you, it makes you feel so good. And when you leave here, you feel good. You're like walking out of here. That's how I can put it. But you walk out of here feeling good. They helped me embrace my mental illness and bring me out of that stigma. Don't let anybody's judgment interfere with your self-care, your thoughts, your way of thinking. That's just the outside, to focus on you. I don't feel that embarrassment. I don't feel being judged anymore. It's like the wall is breaking down. And that's why I thank the Wernert Center for it. Because if it wasn't for them, then I would still be in my stigma bubble.